All right, everybody, welcome. So please excuse the editing in this video because I need to make this quick. This is going to be a lot of value. But in this video, what you're going to learn is everything about B2B fingerprinting contracts, business-to-business fingerprinting contracts. We're going to go over a few things. We're going to go over how to prospect for these contracts, no matter what state you live in, how to close these contracts, how to land them, and what you need to say when reaching out to these types of businesses that are in your area. Now, specifically, what business to business means is you as a fingerprinting business, whether you're mobile or you have a storefront, you're primarily just going to be taking appointments with consumers, right? B2C. Anybody who needs a fingerprinting appointment, fingerprinting card, you're going to charge them a nominal fee in order to perform that service, and you're just going to rinse and repeat. However, there's always a ceiling. There's a revenue ceiling that you hit with that because there's only so many appointments you can take per day, no matter how many employees that you hire. There's only so many territories, only so many places that you can branch out to kind of capture a wider net, a wider TAM, total addressable market, right? So fingerprinting contracts is a way where you can gain a lot more revenue quickly, and we're going to go over that. So specifically, what we're going to go over are 2 to 3 types of businesses where you can pitch these services to, no matter what state you live in. So we're going to open them up in another tab here. We're going to go with real estate schools. We're going to go with firearms training. Sometimes this is going to be state specific. Then we're also going to go over government volunteers. And here's where this is going to get pretty specific, is government volunteers with usajobs.com. So first, we're going to start with real estate schools. Now, let me explain something. If you are a person looking to get a license in real estate, now, if you live in Tennessee and you want to be a real estate agent in Tennessee, you're going to need a state background check in order to get your license. Now, Tennessee is a closed state. Almost every other state is closed except for, really Florida when it comes to getting a real estate license. However, specifically when you're selling real estate, you want the ability to sell real estate out of state, right? So if you're in Tennessee, you're going to want to sell somebody's home or help sell somebody's home in New York because they're moving to Tennessee, in Virginia, in North Carolina, South Carolina, in Florida because they're moving to Tennessee, right? Now, specifically, when you're in a real estate program and you're looking to be certified in not just your home state, but other states, you cannot get a live scan background check in New York if you live in Tennessee because you have to drive all the way there. So what's the way on how to do that? It's by getting a fingerprint card. Now, in order to get a fingerprint card, you need somebody to perform that service. You need somebody to either roll the prints on a card and hand it to you, and then they have to sign off on it, and then that person signs off on it. And then what they do is they take that card and they send it to New York. New York scans it in, and they apply for the license that way. This is where all the opportunity pops in with you as the business owner, because if you reach out to a real estate school in your area, you can find the person that's running that school or running that program, running that class. Typically, it's something that they do like every quarter or every few months. They get about 30 to 40 students. They run them through a program, and at the end, they get certified in whatever states that they want. Some people want to get certified in all 50 states, which means 50 fingerprint cards for one person. Really, really good opportunity. So here's how you pitch your service. You go on Google, and you type in real estate schools. And in your area, I'm going to see 3 Google My Businesses right here. Long Island Real Estate School, Suffolk Real Estate School, Hauppauge Real Estate School. So what you need to do, quite honestly, is just click into these profiles, do some research on them. Now, as you do some research on them, you're going to see here's a phone number. Call them. Do a cold call. Say, hey, listen, how do you run your classes? Make it seem like you're a student so they kind of give you the time of day. And at the end of it, say, hey, listen, the reason why I'm calling is because I'm a mobile fingerprinting technician. I specialize in ink fingerprinting cards. If your students are looking to get certified in all 50 states or anything out of state, I can perform the fingerprinting card service for you. So what you could do is reach out to me every time you have a class. I'll come at a specific day on the class, on the certification day, after they take their test or after they're looking to just get a fingerprint card. You can do it even in the middle of the course. It doesn't matter. You're just trying to sell the fingerprinting card service. Now, When you're speaking to this person, you need to pitch your service like it's very convenient for them. Typically, the way you price yourself is you say, listen, your students will pay me, and you'll pay me a one-time consultation fee to come into the class because you're adding value. This person that's running this school, running this class, is adding so much value because the person doesn't even have to do anything. They don't have to research anything. They say, hey, listen, we're having a person come in tomorrow. They're going to be able to take your ink fingerprints. This is going to be for out-of-state licensing requirements only. And at that point, you charge them about $35 to $40 per card per person. If they need 20 cards because they want to sell real estate in all 20 states, then by all means, you can charge an extra $10 per card. If you have a live scan device and a mobile printer, all you do is click print, click print, click print, click print. You're printing money at that point, right? So real estate schools are a very good opportunity. You want to reach out to about like 10 of these, just a numbers game. If you reach out to 10 of them, probably 5 of them will respond or even answer the phone, because a lot of these classes and schools are, little side businesses. So leave voicemails, send emails over. Don't stop. Create a Google spreadsheet of all places that you reached out to. Set tasks for yourself to follow up, because the magic in this is in the follow-up. You need to be consistent. Now, that's one avenue. Another avenue is going to be firearms training. A lot of people are looking to get CCW permits. So that's going to be concealed carry weapons permits. Here in New York, it's very different. A lot in the tri-state area, it's very different. So you're going to need to look up the state laws in your area to see if people need fingerprint cards submitted to their local department or agency in order to get certified for a concealed carry permit. This is specific for like the southern states. On the West Coast, this is pretty popular, where people enter in fingerprint cards to their local agency. They scan that card in, run a background check, say you're good to go, and then submit with your application. Some people have a paper application and they need to attach a fingerprint card with a money order in order to do this. So you're going to need to look up your state specific rules and your state laws and regulations to see if this is a viable option. But this is the secondary option that you could do, along with reaching out to real estate schools. So you look up firearms training, you look up these Google My Businesses, you look up who pops up first in your area, and you do the same thing with the real estate schools. Pop on their website, look at a phone number, ask them, do your students apply for CCW permits? If so, do they need fingerprint cards? If they do, I can be that person that adds value to your class. So if you run your class every month at a specific date and time, I will come to the class and see if anybody needs a fingerprint card taken, sell them into the service. Again, this is going to be volume with a one-time visit. You're going to visit one of these classes, one of these schools, and probably do about like 5 to 10 to sometimes 15 appointments. Depends on the volume of the class, the volume of the school. As you get better with this, you can build a whole business just off of this. Now, you can apply this model to any businesses in your area that require ink fingerprinting to be done in order for them to be screened as an employee. This is going to be a case-by-case basis, particularly because every company and agency is different. And we're going to go over the government volunteer contracts in a second. That's a whole different animal. But when you're looking out for businesses that require somebody to get fingerprinted, a lot of them are going to be state background check services, don't get me wrong. And a lot of people, if you're in a closed state, you can't perform that, unfortunately. But you're not looking for that. What you're looking for is ink fingerprint cards specifically. If you find a place that has employees get onboarded, has a driving school, any type of Department of Transportation, again, this is going to be state specific, but you got to do some research. Look into it. See where the opportunity is, where you can visit a place and you can create a contract with somebody, where you can create some type of an agreement with somebody. So when somebody needs a fingerprinting appointment, a fingerprinted card, they reach out to you and you only. You can build a business just off of this alone. This is what's going to scale you past that 6-figure a year mark and beyond. This is what's going to allow you to not spend so much time performing one-off appointments and one-off services with people. This is what's going to allow you to maximize your time and maximize your revenue. And this is really what's going to make or break your business and allow you to do it full time if you want. Now, on to the third spot, which is going to be usajobs.com. It's going to be government volunteers. A lot of government volunteers, they need an FBI background check in order to volunteer for the agency or department or subsection within their state or whatever program they have. A lot of social programs where if they're working in a soup kitchen, if they're working in some type of home for people, they need FBI background checks. And typically the way this works is if somebody's looking to volunteer, the agency or the program that's signing volunteers up, they'll pay for this background check. So you'll need to reach out to program directors, any type of people that are running these programs, and ask them if an FBI background check service is something that they're interested in, or something that they need. So the way to get into the back door of this, to do some research, is usajobs.com, working in government. Volunteers, federal agencies and departments offer unpaid training opportunities to students. These people are probably going to need FBI background checks. Eligibility, you can look up all of these options here in the search bar. You can look up volunteer programs near you. The federal volunteer programs is where all this money is going to be made. You need to find out who's running the program and then reach out to them. And then typically they're going to say one of two things. They're going to say, send us your information, at which point send them to your website, send them to your Google My Business, or create some type of Word document just showing what services you provide. Or they're going to say, we have an RFP being sent out in January. An RFP is a request for a proposal. So we'll look up an example right here. An RFP example for a government position, submitting a response. An RFP is typically when any type of agency, department, or company is looking for a request for proposal. So they're looking for contractors to basically pitch them on how they can help them with the service that they need help with. So an RFP, we're not going to get into training on RFP specifically because it's a whole other ball game, but this is going to be an option that a lot of people are going to request from you. You're going to need some type of RFP. And if you need that, we're going to have other trainings on this eventually as well, other videos on this as well. But I really wanted to make this video because I've gotten so many questions about how to grow your fingerprinting business, how to take it from B2C, business to consumer, to B2B, business to business, and scale it without spending so much time. You don't want to be on the road 10 hours a day taking appointments. You just don't. Who wants to do that? It's fine in the beginning when you're growing your business. You got to do what you got to do. The business has to eat. But once you start scaling, once you start growing, you want to minimize your time, maximize profits. This is how you're going to do it. So wanted to make this quick video. I know this is a different video. It's not going to have all the oohs and ahs and the editing. It's going to be straight. I'm not even going to edit this thing. I'm going to upload it right now because I'm getting so many questions about this. And if you need anything, reach out. There's a link down below if you want to get a live scan device. There's a link down below if you want any of our courses, our certifications. There's a link down below if you just want to chat with one of our experts. No questions asked. Worst case scenario is you get a crash course on fingerprinting, get some questions answered. So my name is Dan Jerkowitz, Marketing Director for PrintScan, National Fingerprinting Agency, National Fingerprinting Company in the United States. Going global soon, looking for partners in your area. Reach out to us. We'd be happy to help.